Now you know when you do the
Oh,
promo.
hey, everybody! It's your boy Art Chat Daddy Sims. Happy Tuesday evening to each and every one of you. We're less than a minute away, 2 minutes away from the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I'm coming to you live from the Green Room. That's my co-host Javon DeLynn Dunnigan over in the Red Room. And tonight, coming up on the show, we're going to talk to high school parents. They're parents of seniors in high school, and we're going to talk about how COVID 19 has affected the entire senior year for their children. And then later on in the show, we'll meet a uh, high school, college, and career counselor who believes in virtual mentoring. And so she'll be here tonight to talk about the importance of that. Javon DeLand, what did you have to say to these people? How are you?
I'm good. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Yes.
Yay, we are super excited to bring you tonight's show. We'll be starting in just a little bit. Make sure you hit the share button, start a watch party. Don't forget that the Real Chat Daddy show is now live on YouTube, so you guys can watch it there, or you can always go back for an encore performance of the show. Thank you guys so very much for watching last night's show on YouTube. Continue to like the YouTube page, The Real Chat Daddy Show, and we'll continue to move this forward. All right, we'll just hang out. We'll get you something to drink, and we'll do what we need to do. All right, Javon DeLand, what was you getting ready to say?
No, I'll mention it later.
Okay, okay, beautiful, 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 beautiful. This allows people to get in our room and join us. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, Lord, I just broke a dread. Lord have mercy. All right. Waiting to start the show. Let me pop her back in. Yeah, you
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, I was writing something and I hit it on my thing.
Oh, I'm like, what happened to her? Did
I
she
know.
disappear? Did she disappear? All right, here we go. In five, four, three, two, one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Art Chat Daddy Sims. Glad to be here with you guys on now day number 59 of our shelter in place. We are still growing, hopefully at 59. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I'm
Hopefully
thinking like, wow, it's been 2 months.
that's right. Hopefully, you are healthy, alive, and still growing and doing the right things. We have another great show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure this evening. As you guys all know, my co host, the lovely lady who's in the red room over there, the one and only Miss Javon DeLynn Dunnigan, is back tonight. How are you, Javon DeLynn? What's going on?
I'm great. I'm great. The sun is out and it was nice out. I didn't have to have a full jacket on when I was in my yard working, so it was good.
Yes, yes, you're right. It was a beautiful day. Whenever I'm able to leave out the house, I just love it. As you guys all know, some of my friends they allow me to sit in the front seat with them. Some of my friends put me in the back seat with them. And so the person who I was hanging out with today, I was in the back seat, and I felt just like a dog. I wanted to stick my head out the window. I wanted to just let my hair blow in the wind. I'm just so excited for just better weather. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been through a lot. We didn't have a rough winter, but this whole COVID-19 thing has just put us, in hibernation mode.
Yeah, spring is taking a long time. It's just dragging on and it's not warm yet. So,
No,
and May is forever, taking forever.
Yes, it is. You are absolutely right. Well, coming up on tonight's show, we are celebrating graduation season. Last night, we had the honor and pleasure of meeting four outstanding graduates, two high school graduates, and two college graduates, all members of the class of 2020. And so tonight, we're going to talk to the parents of students who are both high school graduates. Matter of fact, one of the parents is a mom of one of the young people we had last night, and another parent is a dear friend of mine whose daughter had been just, living for her graduation year. And with COVID-19 coming in, there's been quite a damper on the graduation season. So we're going to talk to those parents tonight about how they kept their young people motivated, inspired, and what are they doing to celebrate their graduation. And then later on in the show, we'll meet a lady who has an amazing organization that mentors young people to get them ready for college and get them ready for their career. But because of this pandemic, these young people have had to do it all virtually. So she wants to explain to us the importance of mentoring our young people, even virtually, whenever you can get a few moments to do so. Javon Deline, I think it's another great show. What you think?
I agree. I can't wait to hear.
I know. So, what you got going on? What's new tonight? Anything hot in news and entertainment?
Well, did you hear that Steak and Shake is closing all of their locations, 57 of them? I wasn't,
Wait, 57 or 500 and is it 57?
or maybe
Cause
it's 500 and something, maybe so.
yeah,
They're closing all of
yeah.
them. But
Are
was
you
it Steak and
kidding me?
Shake that received some of the stimulus money and had to give it back?
No, that was Shake Shack that
Oh,
received that
Shake Shack.
stimulus.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, Steak and Shake was created in Normal, Illinois, of all places. And Steak and Shake is one of those places that is such a southern, small town type of situation. We got our first Steak and Shake here in Chicago. Over in University Village, and it's actually owned by a black man. So I'm
Yes.
so I'm curious to know whether or not his Steak and Shake will stay around. But they're closing all of them. I thought it was a certain
It
amount
said,
of.
no, it said they were closing all of them. I'm gonna look it up again. But I
Oh
forgot about
wow!
it's a black couple. I remember hearing about them opening up the Steak and Shake a few years ago.
Right, right. So I love Steak and Shake's French fries. They use the little shoestring French fries, and a tremendous loss. But believe it or not, Steak and Shake was created in Normal, Illinois, an hour and a half away from Chicago, of all
Wow.
places.
Well, it
Yeah.
says they're closing 57 of their restaurants. Now, is that
Oh,
all of them? I don't know.
no, they have about 500 restaurants throughout the country. And I did see where I thought they said they were closing 57 of them. You're right. Because I was like, Lord, are they closing all the Steak and Shakes? They're probably closing underperforming stores. And
Hmm.
so, that's what it is. So that's probably how that's all working. So, okay, very good. What else you got up on the list before I do the sad stuff?
Oh, well, you can go on. I'll tell you about these people in Target in LA fighting a worker telling them I don't want to wear a mask. So
Oh,
they're
that's
starting a fight.
interesting because we're going to talk about LA anyway. All
Okay,
right.
come on.
Okay, very good. So let me give you guys the latest COVID-19 statistics. I can't say it. Aha, and numbers for the day. Uh, Officials report a record high 4,014 new cases as the state conducts larger numbers that has ever happened in a 24-hour period, which now puts us at nearly 30,000 cases. So let me explain to you guys. There was a record high of 4,014 new known cases right here in the state of Illinois. The state has announced that there was also 144 additional fatalities in the last 24 hours. This is tying in as the second highest daily total reported so far. That brings the overall death total here in the state of Illinois to 3,601 since this pandemic has began. And so now, Javon DeLeon, here's the question. The governor alluded yesterday that we might be keeping our derrieres in the house until sometime in June now. And remember, I had been saying that to you that I heard it was going to be June or July anyway. What do you think? Because here's the deal: we're hoping that these numbers would decrease. these numbers are increasing and steady rising.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised because they're opening up a lot more testing facilities. So that makes sense. The numbers increasing makes sense, right? Um, I'm not surprised about those numbers. The concern is how are people transmitting the number? Transmitting it. Are people out and about? Is it the people that are working at these locations that we have to patronize? The grocery stores, Walgreens. So is it possible that those are the individuals, and can we not? We can't get around it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, are all of these people that are out and about positive, or is it the people we're interacting with because we have to go to the grocery store? We can't get around that until they shut the whole city down, and that's not going to happen. And I'm going to
No.
be honest. I was out today. I went to Maryville again. That's my go-to Costco now and Home Depot, and it
Wait,
worked.
wait, wait, wait. You got one more trip without me. One more trip without me. Okay, there you go. All right.
That's my little go-to place when I jump in the car. And
Right.
I rise early. I mean, I know
Uh,
they don't open up to 10
you got one more
on
trip
time,
without me. Right. Okay. Yeah.
but the interesting thing is it was packed. And Indiana, some people had on masks, some didn't, and you could tell Indiana has opened up.
Right. Right.
They've
Yes.
opened up. And so,
Yes.
Chicago is opening up. I saw on Facebook somebody posted that they're getting ready to start doing hair. And they ain't waiting for the governor, and they don't care, and they didn't want anybody to make comments on their page about they were doing hair. So I think people are opening up.
Yeah.
They're not
People
waiting.
are. People are. I mean, as we all know, it's you hope and pray that more people don't get sick. We hope and pray that this situation does not get any worse than what it is right now. But when you really look at this, there are things that people need. I was with my friend earlier today, and I said, "Wait a minute! I would just love to be able to run in there and just grab." A couple of items, but you can't. You cannot. You've got to be very strategic. We were out by River Oaks today, and River Oaks Mall looks like an abandoned city now.
Mm,
There's no activity going on in River Oaks Mall. Only, the Starbucks and stores that are open outside that perimeter of that mall, but the mall itself is a ghost town now. And you wonder how long will it take for these ghost towns to come back alive, you know?
yeah. Well, that's the same thing, seeing the restaurants out in Indiana. I'm sure they're slowly getting there. But
Hmm.
I just don't think people are going to go past June and stay in the house. I don't think they're going to be able to enforce it the way they want unless they start taking business licenses if restaurants open up and do not practice social distancing. But the
Right.
reality is, I don't know how these businesses are going to last. I mean, even for me, I know I'll be fine, but my class sizes were already small and now I'm cutting them in half. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So what it's forcing me to do is create more classes to catch up, to make the difference up. But how about these restaurants? How do you hire staff or retain your staff, with not as many people that can sit and hang out all day and drink?
Hmm. Well, I watch a lot of late night television, and Jimmy Fallon had some chefs on recently, and people who are very involved in the restaurant industry, and they were saying that it's not so much the restaurant owner and the restaurant as much as the restaurant owners are more concerned about the hourly workers. Keep in mind that waiters and waitresses only make really what people tip them. They make a minimum wage that's not
Yeah,
even $4 an hour,
that's
if that much. And so all of those people who, if I have a friend that was an executive secretary, left her job, moved to Las Vegas, and became a waitress at a high-end steakhouse. And she made six figures in just 4 nights a week waiting on tables at a high-end steakhouse.
mm,
So, you have to think about the tremendous loss that a lot of these people have succumbed to, that were in just jobs that were helping to keep their families afloat and things like that. So it's very impactful, very impactful.
well, if you look at the business model and the ones that have survived or that stayed open, that were considered essential, it's going to make people think about industries that they may go into going forward or businesses they're going to create because they want to have an essential business or something tech driven that you can switch to technology. So, it's sad because you do have a lot of people that can't pivot that are in, retail jobs or jobs that, they're exposed to a lot of us, like the young man at Home Depot. He's letting us in so many people at a time, and he didn't even have on a mask. But he's in Indiana, so I didn't know what Indiana's rules were, so I didn't say anything. I want to say, you need to have on a mask, young man, but he didn't.
Well,
So,
I told you Saturday I ventured over to Northwest Indiana to do a little shopping myself. And I stopped in one particular store, and I was the only person that had a mask on in the store, to the point that I really felt self conscious because I was the only black man in the store with a mask on, and I
mm,
had a hoodie on. And I looked around and I said, now, oh, Lord, am I more fearful of them not having a mask on, or am I more fearful of myself being in this store without a mask on? That was I mean, with a
right.
mask on.
No, right.
So, but you're right. In Indiana, they give zero, what, about having a mask on. And so I don't know. But, today when I was out in Calumet City, everybody had a mask on in the store. Matter of fact, storekeepers were saying when you come in, excuse me, sir, you cannot come out in here without a mask on.
Right, right.
You
And
know?
people are
So,
being acting very violent towards these workers, and the workers are just doing their jobs. They're saying, "Please, you need to have on a mask." But whatever happened, in California is just unfortunate because it's to keep everybody safe. I mean, it really is. It is. It's surreal. Every time I go out and I see all these people with masks on, I'm like, this is what our world has come to.
absolutely. Really, it has. Javon DeLynn, I want to go back just a little bit. A couple of our Facebook friends on my page have made comments about Steak and Shake. My good friend Eric, who lives in Louisville, he says six have closed in the last 4 months in Louisville. And
Mm,
so that's quite a bit. And then our good friend Latrice Mosley Smith said that they closed the one in Michigan City, Indiana. So, a lot of these places are not doing well. They didn't have a lot of takeout orders. So underperforming stores in the time of a pandemic seem to be the stores that might be perishing more than anything,
yeah, yeah. And
Absolutely.
it was weird to see like Burlington and Bed Bath and Beyond. All of these stores have a huge surplus, of
Right,
things.
right,
And you
right.
almost want to say, what kind of sales are they going to be? You saw a store, I think it was yesterday or the day before, it was a TJ Maxx. It was packed. I'm looking for sales too, but I'm scared to go into stores when they open. I want some sales.
You know what? I was looking at a Facebook post, and you and I may be talking about the same Facebook
Uh,
post. Somebody took a picture of a TJ Maxx in Alabama, and it was so many people in
yep,
this TJ Maxx. Half had on masks, others did not have on masks. They were
yep.
not social distancing. So it makes me wonder: do people think that this whole social distancing and wearing masks is a way of controlling people? You know what I'm saying? Do we know if it really protects and help us from doing what we need to do? Because I know one thing: when I'm in an aisle now and more than two people come down the aisle, I'm turning and running and jumping. And
I,
so, I mean, I don't know. Do you think, this is our new fear factor now?
It is. And you know what? If you watch the news, they've done demonstrations and showed when you cough how far those particles and the germs fly, and they said 6 feet is not even enough. So I don't think people believe it, to be honest with you. You heard about in Colorado on Mother's Day, a restaurant opened, and they were packed. And you know what happened today? They what's the word? They revoked the business license, and that's what it's come to. I mean, they had a packed house for Mother's Day, and it was no social distancing. So for a owner to think that they don't have any way to stop your business, they can revoke your license. Then you're in violation.
Yeah, I know, but I think people want to take that chance. I think people want to be risk takers.
Yep.
I look at the minister here in North Chicago, well, north side of Chicago, who opened his church up this past Sunday. He did restricted pews, had people do social distancing. Now him and the mayor they've got to sit down and have a heart to heart conversation about him not following the rules and the order, but he's also saying that church is a necessity. It's an essential thing that people need to strengthen their faith. So I find that interesting as well too. That do are people ready to go back to church?
I agree that I think it's essential. I don't see how and why they felt the liquor stores were essential personally. And I like my wine. I mean, really. But
Oh,
my concern is that you go back to church and we pack it into church. There's no you hug. It's so natural to turn to your neighbor, and touch your neighbor. You sit neck and neck. I mean, I don't know how you can do it. I don't.
mm-mm. I don't either. It's an interesting situation. I don't know what's going to happen, but a lot of people do want to get back into the house of the Lord and do what's necessary to worship the Lord. Well, Javonda Land, you've mentioned several times Los Angeles in your conversation. Well, LA County stay at home order will likely remain in place for the next 3 months, officials say. Los Angeles County officials are recommending that the stay at home order be extended until August as the region continues efforts to reduce the spread of COVID or coronavirus, COVID 19. So now LA is just like Chicago, New York, San Francisco. These are all major metropolises. Do you think that we're going to follow the lead of Los Angeles at this point?
I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously. I would be shocked if they say it another 3 months. People are barely hanging on right now. They're planning to get back to normal in their minds June 1st. I would be
R-
shocked.
right.
It's not, I don't think, even with the deaths, I hate to say it, even with the rise in numbers because we're testing more, I just don't see it. I don't. Now, do I believe that they want to do that and they're trying to because they know our healthcare system is going to be overran? Maybe they took down that McCormick Place bed thing a little too soon.
Hmm.
I think so. What was the harm? I mean, I guess we were paying rent every
Right.
month. Yeah. So
Okay. All right. Well, we want to say thank you so much to the Blue Angels. They did a pass through Chicago today. It was just an awesome display of respect to our frontline healthcare workers fighting COVID 19. Whenever they're in town, I just love it. It seems like the sky, even in the daytime, is just electrified.
mhm,
And so
mhm.
we do want to thank the Blue Angels. The Blue Angels are on a tour throughout the United States just to thank the healthcare workers for all that they have been doing on the front line. We really do commend all of you doctors, nurses, phlebotomists, technicians, housekeepers, you name it. If you are in the medical field, you rock. Pharmacists, all of you guys, we really appreciate you. And we really do thank you to the Blue Angels for coming through to show Chicago some love today. It was a good thing. Yes.
Yep, I agree. I didn't see it. My daughter had gone out and she said, "Why are all these people out? It's traffic control people." She didn't know what was going on. And then when she came out the store, people had just stopped in the street and then she saw the Blue Angels. So,
Yes. Yes. Very nice. Another thing, for those of you all that have not received your stimulus check from the IRS, you have one more day to let the IRS know where you are. If you go to their website and if you click on Get My Payment by 12 noon tomorrow, we're in Chicago Central Standard Time. So if I was you guys, I would do it today or early in the morning so the machine does not say you didn't make standard noon time. We don't know where it is, but we're Chicago, you know what time noon is here.
mm,
Provide your direct deposit information and you should be receiving your stimulus check. If not, they're supposed to mail it to you. So we'll see how that all works. But tomorrow, 12 noon is the deadline for you to get your information on the IRS website. Go to Get My Payment, put your information in, and you're supposed to be able to get your stimulus check payment. All right, Javon DeLeon, what else you got?
Did you hear that Chicago Fire Department graduated 88 new cadets or firefighters today? And I think that's a
Really?
good, yes. And I saw a clip or a picture of the mayor congratulating one of the gentlemen. So that's a good thing that hiring is still going on. We need them as first responders, and so you rarely hear about fire department graduations. You hear about police graduations, but you don't hear too much about fire department graduations.
Yes, well, congratulations to all of our first responders. 88 new people have joined the rank and file here in the city of Chicago, and it's a tough job, but someone has to do it. But we're very honored and proud
Yeah.
that you guys did step up and take that on. I've been informed that the website for the IRS is irs.gov. Again, that's irs.gov. Go to Get My Payment and get your munties, as Grandma would say. Get your munties, honey. Get your munties is what they say.
Well,
Absolutely.
you know what's going to happen. 12:01 tomorrow. They're going to be complaining that they didn't know. Then somebody's going to say that people didn't know because they don't have access. It's going to happen.
Right.
We've been hearing about
Well,
the stimulus for almost a month, so let's pray that
well,
everybody figured
well,
it out.
I know quite a few people that have not gotten their stimulus check. I know quite a few people that feel as if they go after that check, and they feel like somebody gonna come after them. I know people who have paid their taxes and done what they needed to do, and said they've still not seen that stimulus check. So
Well, that's
I don't know.
different than registering your address. What you were saying, by 12 noon tomorrow, you need to make sure that you are registered if you didn't have direct deposit. That's a
No,
little
no,
different.
no. This is for direct deposit. Tomorrow is
Right.
strictly for direct deposit.
Right.
Right.
That they need, right. But I'm saying they're still mailing them out. I know someone that got a check yesterday. I'm just
Oh,
saying,
really?
I don't
Okay.
want to hear people saying we didn't know that we had to go online and register. It's like at some point we got to stop making excuses because that's going to happen tomorrow.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
going to happen. We're going to hear it in the news that a whole segment of folks said that they didn't know they had to do this, this, and this.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, you guys get on that so you can get your moolah, your cash, your dineros, your pesos, your chingy, your change, whatever you call it. The government has a check for you. All right. So, Javonda Lynn, speaking of money, moolah, and all of that great stuff, strip club owners are mad and upset because they got left out of the business loan, and they feel as if they should be included in the business loan. As well as there was a story last week that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about, but two pimps from the northern suburbs here in Chicago were overheard complaining and upset about the fact that COVID-19 has cut into their business. It has destroyed their business. So, do we feel people who are sex workers, or I don't know what we should call exotic dancers, entertainers, do you think strip clubs should be getting money to bail them out?
if they're a business, and if they, file their taxes and do like everybody else, then they should get a shot. I'm not judging what they do, but if they are legitimate business, I'm not going to address pimps because that is a industry obviously that impacts negatively for women. But
Right.
when it comes to the exotic dancers or people that work in legitimate entertainment fields, no matter how people feel about that field, they really should be able to qualify for loans just like anybody else.
That's what I said. So let me give you guys the update on that. Strip clubs and lobbyists are suing the federal government to try and get access to the coronavirus stimulus dollars. In three separate lawsuits, they said that they were ineligible for the loans because of the type of business that they ran. Aligning the stimulus law is infringing on their freedom of speech and their constitutional rights. So they saying, listen, as you said, Javonda Lynn, I'm a taxpaying citizen. I'm doing the right thing. This is just the way we make our money, and it's been around forever. And here's the deal: it's not like people don't support and go to strip clubs. You don't necessarily see them going out of business every day.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't. I mean, like I said, if they're a legitimate business and they file taxes and and pay into the government just like anybody else, they should be eligible for a loan. Now, I don't know how the loans were distributed. I certainly didn't get one. But like I said, if that's the business and it's legitimate, then they should have a right to some of those funds. But I
Okay.
never saw the actual bill to show who was not eligible to receive them, because a lot of people didn't receive them. So I don't know what the criteria was, even though they
Right.
made it sound as though it was very broad.
Yes. Okay. All right. Very good. Last but not least, in our hot topics tonight, our friends over at Carnival Cruises have decided that they're going to start cruising again, and they've been offering $29 per night cruises. And remember, we had Joni Riles on, our travel expert, a couple of weeks ago. No, that was Catherine Cameron who we had on, and we were talking about, should you cruise, should you not cruise? At $29 a night for a cruise, are you willing to take that risk? Now, when Catherine was on, remember I told you guys that I find cruise ships to be floating petri dishes. I enjoy cruises, but right now it would be a floating petri dish. What do you think, Javon Deland?
I would go on a Disney cruise because I went on one and Disney was highly sanitized. Every time we went in a restaurant, walked down a stairwell, they were wiping them down, right? I would not go on a Carnival cruise for $10 or for free. That's just me. And $29, absolutely not. I wouldn't be cruising anytime soon just because of all of the germs. And we've heard about the germs and all the problems cruises have had, period. I wouldn't dare. And I heard that they are full, they're booked.
They are booked
They
solid.
should
Yes,
be.
they
I mean,
are.
$29 a night, why wouldn't they be? Carnival is not my cup of tea, and they couldn't allure me with a free cruise.
Well, just so you guys know, three of his ships will be sailing from Galveston, Texas, three from Miami, and two from Port Canaveral. No, Carnival, Florida. I didn't even know there was a Port Carnival, Florida.
That's
Uh,
where most of them leave from.
Oh, really? I thought it was from Miami. I didn't. Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
But as you said, the ships are completely sold out. And here's the deal: all North American and Australian cruises will be canceled through August 31st. So they're not looking at the other ones. But for those of you all that are adventurous and want to take a cruise, Carnival has cruises for $29 a person. I can only imagine, how tight those rooms are, and again, people laying around the pool, and just a lot, team too much. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep, not me. Have
All
at
right,
it. It's a
all right.
floating Titanic.
Yes, it is. Javon Lynn, anything else in gossip and entertainment we need to talk about?
Nope, that's all I have.
All right. Well, as we continue on with the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show, I am your host, Art Chat Daddy Sims, sitting in the red room. Look, I had to do it the other way. The red room is my co-host, the one and only Javon Lynn Dunnigan. We do this show each and every night, Monday through Thursday night, from 7 until 8:30 p.m. We're a reality, entertainment, news, variety show, so we offer something different each and every night. We've just wrapped up our daily hot topics of the day. We give you the latest COVID update numbers. Tonight, we're paying homage to the class of 2020. No other graduation season has ever mirrored what we're going through right now. And last night, Javon Lynn produced a wonderful segment where we talked to four young people two high school and two college graduates about their thoughts and feelings of their last year in high school and college, respectively. And they did an outstanding job. Some amazing young people last night. But Javonda Lynn, I always want to know what parents think about this time. And so you and I have both invited dear friends of ours to come on tonight and share their stories. They both have high school seniors who are graduating. They both have young people who have done extraordinary jobs in their classes. And so, Javonda Lynn, without further ado, I'm going to bring both of the moms in and we're going to talk about them. I'm going to let you introduce your mom first, and I'll introduce my mom second. There's Kelly and there's Deshawn. And hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Good. Somebody may have their volume up a little bit. You might need to turn it down because I hear echoing. As long as you can hear us. Yeah, much better. Can you still hear us?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
Kelly. Okay, beautiful, wonderful. Javonda Lynn, you can introduce Kelly and I'll introduce Deshawn.
Oh, I get the benefit of introducing Kelly. So Kelly and I are related by marriage. Um,
Oh,
yes, so our grandparents are were close growing up. Obviously, they're deceased now, but she is my confidant, my Hampton classmate. I'm the godparent to her sons, and she can tell you what she wants to tell you about her background. So I'll let her do that. But I just love her to death, and I'm just so proud of how she's become such an awesome mom to two young boys.
oh, Kelly, it is such an honor and a pleasure to have you here.
Thank
Your son last night was truly a treat. He was just amazing in many ways. So tell us a little bit about yourself before we introduce our other guests.
you. Okay. So I'm Kelly Thornton, and I am the proud mother of Joshua and Nathaniel Thornton. Both of my children are students at De La Salle Institute. Joshua, as you said, is graduating,
Okay,
and
you'll have to stop
Nathaniel is
that because I'm gonna have to unmute.
I
I have to
am
do all of that
an
making.
attorney at the Office of the Cook County Public Guardian. I've been there for 24 years now. As Lynn said, I'm a graduate
Before
of
you go up, is this
university.
the mic here?
Always been a true
That
HBCU
it?
fan.
You're on mute.
So I'm super excited that my son will be attending an HBCU and just have always been an involved parent. There's there's no rule book for parenting, and I've learned that the hard way. But I've also learned the importance of surrounding myself with some strong moms who can help me through my different seasons. And Javonda is certainly one of those individuals who has been a blessing to me in learning how to parent, not only through the good times, but through the challenging times. And then
Oh, I love it.
just one more thing, because my husband can't believe that we aren't doing this as a team. So I'm also the proud wife of my husband, Douglas Thornton, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That really is. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here with us this evening. Our next guest tonight, Javonda Lynn, I get the honor and pleasure of actually telling you that I grew up with our next guest. This is Deshawn Bray. And Deshawn Bray has 30 years in security experience. I'll let her explain all of that. She has a wonderful daughter named Asia, who's a senior at Jones College Prep. And so she's honored to be here tonight to talk about her daughter as well. So, Deshawn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So, as you know, I have 30 years of security experience, but I also have a lot of experience working with children at Chicago Public Schools. I was on the advisory council for Chicago Board of Education. I was on the local school council for many years. I partnered with those schools for my child's education. I believe in education. I believe in working with children and adults, but my passion is children. I love them so much. And I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So, ladies, I want to start off, Javonda Lynn. Last night, you had such a wonderful array of just young people, and these parents are just dynamic tonight. I want to start off with you, Deshawn, having a daughter. It is her senior year of high school, and now there's no prom, there's no formal graduation celebration. How have you handled this with your daughter?
It's a lot of guilt associated with how you feeling about it. You don't want to feel very selfish because so many people are losing their lives. But also, you started planning for your daughter's prom many years ago. I actually literally purchased everything in November and December, preparing her, getting her mentally ready for prom, physically ready for prom. And she's been putting the work in. She's a 4.3. She has a 4.3 grade point average. You know, she put in all this time into these advanced placement classes, and she's always been in the honor classes at Jones. It's an honor school. So putting in that type of work and then not getting the glory of going to prom and getting the glory of walking across that stage is very, very difficult. Having a conversation with her is very hard because she feels as though people are not talking about seniors in their depression during this time. They're coming up with events, but the people that are close to them, like counselors, the school principal, the teachers, they're throwing this work on them and expecting them to do all this work and to still take these classes and still pay the fees that go along with advanced placement testers and things like that. But they're not dealing with their mental. They're not talking to them about how they actually feel. And a lot of them are very depressed at this time.
Wow. Joyce, Kelly, I'm sorry. You have a wonderful son. We saw him last night, basketball. You know, the guys like to get dressed up and show their best and take a beautiful date. What advice have you given your son, much like Deshaun, about this situation?
So we've talked about it as well. Joshua, the biggest thing for him is missing his friends. And so I think he can do without the prom, but the graduation is so important to him. Um, like your other guests shared, he's worked really hard over the last 4 years. And, you know, from the very beginning, we told him the first day of high school is your first day of college. So you put in the effort, you'll be celebrated in the end, you'll get the reward. And so he has, you know, the accolades and all of those things, but he really misses the relationships at the schools. And so we've talked about just maintaining the communication with his friends. We've talked about how we'll celebrate him as a family. We're planning a virtual family graduation for him. The school is planning to have a graduation in July for the students, and so that's something he's looking forward to. I do have to give kudos to De La Salle though, because the head of school actually met with the seniors a couple of times just to talk about where they are with all of this, how they're feeling, what they want, to talk about their disappointments. And I think that meant a lot to them. I know as a parent, it meant a lot to me that the school was really putting forth the effort to engage the students, communicate with the students, and to really let them know that, hey, we hear you, we understand that this is a challenging time for you. So, you know, we've told Joshua that this is just a season. It's a
Hmm.
challenging one, it's different, and that we don't know what the future holds as far as college in the fall, but that he just has to make the best of it, make the most of it. And so we just tried to be supportive and have those conversations with him.
Wow, Javonda Lynn, isn't that something how we talked to these young people last night? I know Asia, Deshaun's daughter, very well, just mature, articulate, all of that. But one would never think that the parents are also going through something. And that's why I told you that our follow up should be to talk to these parents as well. Because listen, none of us on this show tonight missed our prom unless we didn't want to go. None of us missed our graduation unless we didn't want to go. And so just to imagine your baby or your child is missing out on a life affirming situation. What do you think, Javonda Lynn? You got a question for our guest?
Well, I just want to make a statement. I think sometimes we get lost in what happens in graduation. Some people think, oh, it's really just for the parents, but really the kids really want to be celebrated. And
Mhm.
when Joshua said that last night, I didn't think he would say anything different that, I'm really looking forward to prom. I didn't think he'd say that, just knowing his personality. But when you talk about those relationships that you miss at school, you see your friends more than you really see your family because you're with them all day, every
Right.
day. But graduation is that time to be celebrated. And then, like Deshawn said, her daughter has been living or thinking about prom. I mean, that's like Cinderella for a lot of us. We get caught up in prom. I mean, we were planning Joshua's prom. Or
Right.
even
Yeah.
though he's a male, I was like excited. We had it on the calendar. But the kids, I can't imagine missing this stuff. I
Right.
can't imagine it. And I feel for them. That's
Yeah.
all.
I have been saying for quite a while, I said, listen, a lot of these young people, this is their shining moment. And I'm so glad to hear a mother of a young man say, no, excited to get dressed. A lot of times, this is the first time these young people get to put on formal clothing. This is the first time we get to see them as adults. And so I can only imagine the devastation. And then as parents, this is a way for you to have parties and celebrations for family to come over. This is a way for you to, like, even the whole Trump party idea. I guess that would have to be virtual now. Deshaun, had you ever thought about how to do the Trump party at this point?
Well, right now, I'm trying to work on a graduation party for June 7th, and everything is virtual. I talked to a DJ this morning to find out how much he's going to charge me for a virtual DJ. And I'm trying to do what everybody is doing, the drive by the house. You're going to pick up a little lunch package from me, and you may drop off a gift to Asia in a little box. And I can't entertain anybody longer than 20 minutes, is what I'm thinking. So it's gonna be in and out, but I want her celebrated and I'm gonna do the lawn and I'm gonna do all the great things that parents are supposed to do to celebrate their children. But it's just gonna be, you know, very short lived with each person. And I hope they understand that.
Wow, Joy. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep saying Joyce. Kelly, please forgive me. I don't know why Joyce stuck in my head. Kelly, we're gonna change your name. No. Kelly, what are your thoughts on that? Did you have any kind of celebration planned as well too?
Yes, we were planning. The trunk party was planned. We had a date for that already. And of course, the family, we're a family, we celebrate everything. Javonda, let
Right,
me tell you,
right.
every birthday, every
Yep, yep.
good grade on a report card. It's one more reason for us to get together as a family to celebrate. So yes, we had things planned, and so now I'm in the process, and Javonda has been helping me of trying to plan this virtual graduation, just coming up with creative ways to be able to celebrate him virtually.
Yeah, the one thing I was in a dollar store today and I said, well, at least the dollar store still had items you could buy to decorate and celebrate. And so I really do appreciate places like the dollar store and places that sell stationery and party things. They're,
Right.
continuously pushing the celebration. You just have got to come up with very creative ways. I want to find out, Javonda Lynn, do you have anything you want to ask the parents as well, too?
No, I'm good.
I wanted to find out how has the school been, in your opinion, of facilitating this whole senior year? Has the communication been easy? Have they been very amenable to things? Or is there something, with both of you all having students that are leaving the school, if we had to do this again next year, what advice would you want to give to schools in general? May not even be your school. Kelly, I'm gonna start with you first.
Hmm. That's a good question. I've tried to be sensitive to the fact that this is new to all of us. And so I'll say that early on, when maybe we weren't receiving a lot of communication, I didn't get upset about it because I was trying to figure out what was happening with me working remotely from home. And so I understood it. I do think that the school did quickly get things together. They started communicating more with the parents. They've always been open to having us to call and ask questions and things of that nature. I just don't think none of us knew it would last this long. And so initially, the first couple of weeks, we were like, okay, it's all right. It'll just be a couple of weeks and they'll be fine. But as time went on, I knew that I could reach out and ask questions even when I was not receiving information from the school. And, I even had a teacher to reach out, who texted me just to say, can you tell your children I said hello? I've been thinking about them. And
Oh,
just little things like that really meant a lot, not only to me, but I know to my children. And with the last week was the last week of class for the seniors, and two teachers showed up at our doorstep with a yard sign for Joshua that they put in the yard, De La Salle High School graduate class of 2020, and had him go out in the yard and take a picture with the sign.
yeah.
So they were doing little things like that really made it nice, and particularly on days where it was just hard. It was hard being in this house all the time. It was hard for him, every day getting up, being on the computer, getting work done, not really feeling like they were learning anything because it's hard. It's hard to teach an AP calculus class on Zoom. It just doesn't happen.
Wait now. Teaching a what kind of class?
AP
And
calculus.
the calculus class.
Honey, I'm having a hard time learning sign language, so I can only imagine AP calculus would be a hot mess.
Right. So I just think I think De La Salle did the best that they could. And Lynn
Mhm.
will tell you that I'm the parent that is heavily involved. And it took me a couple of years to adjust to the way of high school because there's less communication in high school. And so it took me a couple of years to even say, okay, all right, I think they're doing a decent job. But given the current circumstances, the current situation, I really can't complain about the school. I cannot. I think that they did the best that they could given what we're faced with right now. And I'm appreciative of the teachers because they're teachers who they're teaching my child, but they might be parents themselves and they're at
Right,
home teaching their own children and
right.
trying to do other things. And so I looked at it from that perspective.
Oh, I love it. I do. Thank you so much, Kelly. That was great. Deshaun, I'm gonna come to you and ask you the same question because you've been involved inside of the school system, a very involved parent. But after going through this, because really, you and Kelly both are history making parents. You know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
are part of a senior year that has been like no other senior year. And so, Deshaun, what advice would you want to give?
I want to say this at Asia's school at Jones, they have a great principal, and they have friends of Jones, and their local school council. Their alumni team, they work very, very closely together. We got a notice today that they took Asia's picture, her graduation picture, and put it on a sign, and we have to go pick it up between 8 to 2 tomorrow. I'm very appreciative of that. One thing that I do like about being able to reach out to the principal directly, and he contacts you back within 72 hours. And I think in this pandemic, there is, I think, 600 seniors, over 5,000 students, that he does a great job of communicating back with you. And moving forward, if this happens to us or takes us into the next year, principals being accessible, because sometimes you want to go all the way to the top because you're just that scared and you're just that nervous. So if you go all the way to the top and the principal is sensitive to what you're going through in your home, because your child could have COVID and dealing with all this other stuff on top of it. And for them to take the time out to reach back out to you, because I said to him, my child is nervous, my child is scared, and she's a little depressed about her senior year. And he wrote back and called my child by name. Tell Asia I said. And then he remembered some interaction between them in February, and he brought that up. And it was a joke between them, and she laughed. having that type of relationship with your students, and a lot of people can't have it, and a lot of schools don't have it. We're just fortunate that he is that type of principal that walks around and meets and greets his students. You know, to me, that means a lot to a parent. The fact that you know my child's name, the fact that you can recall a story and tell a parent that about their child, it goes a long way. And so we have to remember we do have to be sensitive to they change day to day. But as essential workers, I'm an essential worker, you know, we know that we have to adapt to change every single day. So we're becoming used to it and being more sensitive to others who are going through things that's not essential workers. And so I think that schools have to realize that that's what we signed up for when we took that particular job. You know, we pray for each other and we try to support each other. And that's how we'll get through anything.
I love it. I really do.
Hey,
Both of you ladies have been dynamic. Go right ahead, Javonda Lynn.
hey, Deshaun, what's your daughter's plans after high school?
I'm glad you asked. She has a full ride to Rose College in Memphis, Tennessee. So
Okay,
I'm so very proud of her. She'll be studying chemistry.
congratulations. What's the name of the school?
Rose
Oh,
College.
Rhodes College. Okay, great. Congratulations.
Very good. Well, look, of course, you know, I'm going to have to pose that question to Kelly. Of course I am. You know what I'm saying? It's only fair. So, Kelly, what is my newfound friend, Mr. Basketball himself in personality, what is he going to be doing?
So Joshua received a full ride from the business school at North Carolina A&T, and that's where he will be in the fall studying business finance.
And remember,
Yeah.
he wants to be that investment banker. He's opened up an account. I'm like, he's gonna be rich and gonna let his godmama have some money down the
Well, now, look, girl, tell him don't forget his Uncle Chat Daddy
road.
over there, too, right? He got a new uncle now. Look, look, as the old people, I'm about to give all of them $20 in a couple of weeks,
That's
right?
right.
That's what
That's
I'll do.
right. That's right.
Ladies, you both have been outstanding. You both, to me, are just warm and kind women. What message would you want to send to the world, just as Black women in today's society, about where we are with this global pandemic? Again, this is something our children have never seen. This is something that we've never seen. They did an interview with historian Timio Black recently in the newspaper. And keep in mind, he was born during the Spanish flu. And he said that his mom and family never really got over the impact of the Spanish flu. Even though they continue to progress, they never got over the impact of the Spanish flu. Ladies, what message would you want to deliver to the world about just keeping on and persevering? Kelly, I'm going to start with you first.
Prayer. If you don't have the right, your relationship is not in line with God after all of this, I don't know what to tell you. My message would be to fall on your knees, to trust God, know that He has a bigger plan, know that this is but for a season, know that we will get through this, claim the victory, and take this time just to really focus on whatever it is that he's telling you to do. This is a time for us to spend more time with our families. This is a time for us to spend more time in God's word. And I think that God is really trying to get our attention. He has mine. He's trying to
Hmm.
get our attention. So, it's time to take a step back and focus on him and what he wants to do and what he wants from us.
Look, Kelly, amen. Somebody pass the collection plate. Because
Right, right.
I agree. I do. I agree with you
Hmm.
100%. I have said time and time again, those that have been last will now be first. And if people really do not believe that God is trying to tell us something, and if you consider yourself a Christian or a believer in a higher power, something is wrong with you. Because this is we are living in what I consider an epic biblical time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Of just things that we've heard down the line. So thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate you for that. Deshaun, my dear, I know you're gonna leave us with some wisdom too.
I have a couple things. I want to say this. If you are a true believer of they doing extra and they doing too much, I'm going to need you to eliminate that from your vocabulary. We are not doing too much, and we are not being extra. We are being careful. Careful that we don't impact somebody else's life negatively. So we have to stop that. We need to do what they have asked us to do and be respectful about it. We also need to walk by faith and not by sight because we don't know what's coming because something else can be coming. And to touch on what you said, if you go to Psalms 37, it will explain that those who are at the top will be on the bottom and the other way around. So I want you to understand that we have to show love. That's the foundation of removing anything. If we show love to each other, then we will show more respect to each other. But if you don't have no love in your heart, that means you don't have no respect for your countrymen. And the United States is built on love. It is. So read the Constitution and find out that we are, and your Bible, they in agreement. They touch and agree on God's love. That's what I will leave you with. We stay prayed up and show love daily.
Amen.
Wow. Wow. Not only are they mamas, not only do they have seniors in high school, but they women of faith and believing.
Amen.
And that's what I was hoping that this message would be about tonight. Javonda Lynn, I'm gonna need a tissue in a minute. This has been this good. I'm gonna need a tissue on a collection plate. This has been really deep. What do you want to say to both of the moms, Javonda Lynn?
Godspeed. I'm so proud of these young people and how they're managing their, this pandemic. And then, of course, as parents, I'm proud of you both. Obviously, I know Kelly, and we walk through this every day when we do talk on the phone. So I know she definitely is a woman of faith. She and her husband, that's what they've done as far as their foundation for their family. And Deshaun, I feel that same thing coming through Zoom with you and your family. And I just wish you all well with the kids. And I'm glad that you acknowledge that your daughter was depressed. Some people don't, in our community, we don't like to talk about mental health, and it's real. And I think if you name it and say it, you don't have to claim it, but at least you acknowledge, you know what, I'm feeling sad because I miss my friends. Joshua didn't say that, but he said, I miss my friends. He misses, these are the things that are impacting him. So, God's said,
oh, that's so cute.
My Asia wasn't on your show yesterday, so I'm gonna show y'all my Asia.
Oh,
Wait,
hey,
hold on. We'll have to talk to Asia. Yay! We'll have to talk to Asia. We'll get Asia in on the show. I promise you that, because she is really fascinating in many different ways. Well, ladies, really, I just want to say God bless you both. Congratulations on raising just two beautiful young people. Kelly, I feel as if I've been knowing your son as long as Javonda Lynn. And you all have just done an outstanding job. And congratulations on having graduates during 2020. It's unfortunate that we're in the midst of a pandemic, but I know as a family, you both as families, will do what you can to make your children feel very special. So I love you both. Thank you again for being with us tonight. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for the parents of 2020 graduates. They both are experiencing seniors in high school. They're going to have kids going off to college. Full rides off to college. We're very proud of them. Ladies, God bless you. Thank you so very much and have a great night. All right?
Good night.
Congratulations. Good night. Oh, we love them. Javonda Lynn, that was amazing. It really was. And that's what I told you. We really do need to talk to these families about, what have they been going through, how this has impacted them. People don't realize it's a lot with this. It really, really is.
And as a parent, you want to be strong for your kids. You want to you don't want to show them your concern. When they worry, we take on their concerns and their worries. So I'm sure as parents, I couldn't imagine 2 years ago my child graduated and I was looking forward to graduation. I would have been just as disappointed, and I'm certain the parents are as well. They want to participate and celebrate their kids, and the kids want to participate. So we're still figuring out those creative ways, as Kelly said, and I'm certain that families will have trunk parties, whichever way they can do. They can do them a little bit later in the summer if they need to be, if they need to, because the parents need. I hate to say it, they need the stuff for the kids. No one
Oh,
wants to
absolutely.
try to fund the whole dorm room by themselves.
Right, right.
So,
Well, Ursula and I, my bestie, we were out today laughing and talking. We so used to going in a store, buying items and gifts for people, and you like, oh Lord, if I buy it online and it's not right, and I need to return it, and
right.
but I guess we live in such a society now where these young people can send out like a wedding registry list where you make sure
Mhm.
you get the right thing and all that, but it's just amazing, that just regular retail is not
Right.
there for our avail anymore. And it's just interesting in many ways. All right. So you guys are tuned in to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show, coming to you live via Facebook. Three different pages on Facebook. The Real Chat Daddy Show is one of our pages. Art Chat Daddy Sims is another page that you can view it on. And if you are one of my friends, fans, family, or followers on Art Sims on Facebook, you can see the show there. We're also on YouTube, The Real Chat Daddy Show. I'm asking that you guys please go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you don't get to see the show live and in person, there's always encore performances that can be found on YouTube. And the more people that like my page, the more it helps me out. So please go to YouTube and like the page. My wonderful co-host, the woman over there in the red, no, wait, this way, the red room, is the incredible Miss Javonda Lynn Donegan, and I just love and adore her.
Thank
We're oh, darling, are you kidding me? We're celebrating the class of 2020. Javonda Lynn, did you remember saying where you'd be in 2020 back when we was teenagers?
Please. No, I just wanted to be 21 so I could get in the club. That's all, just 21.
I just
And
wanted to be 21.
right, and then when we turned 25, the clubs were saying 30. I was
Right.
like, "Really?" So, I wasn't thinking about 50 something, no.
Well, Javonda Lynn, I got a little confession. I've been actually getting into clubs since I was 16 years old because I was a very mature looking young child. I won a dance contest at the Sheba Disco. Do you
I
remember the
remember the sheet.
Sheba?
Mhm.
And I was probably 17 or 18 when I won an adult dance competition at the Sheba. So, oops, I'm telling on myself.
I
But
remember
so
the Sheba, yep.
right, right. The Sheba Disco of all places. All right. So listen, coming up on tomorrow night's show, our beloved Javonda Lynn will not be here with us tomorrow night, but in her place is one of my dear friends and a huge fan of the show. As you guys know, I've been offering people who are fans, friends, and followers the chance to co-host the show. So Miss Thyteria Townsend will be here tomorrow night, and she'll be here to cover all the hot topic gossip and entertainment. But she really wants to talk to us about staying in the house, what all she has been through during COVID-19. She has been very expressive on social media with her shenanigans and antics and her DIY, is it DIY
DIY.
project, cooking, and all of that. And then tomorrow night, we're going to have some entertainment. Her alter ego is going to do karaoke tomorrow night on the show. And all I know is her alter ego's last name is Devereaux. So, any chick with the last name Devereaux is something else. So, make sure you tune in to the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show, 7 to 8:30 p.m. right here on Facebook Live and YouTube, baby. Yes. Javonda Lynn, what else you need to say, my dear, before we introduce our next guest?
Nothing, no, the last segment was really great, and these young people getting full rides, I'm impressed, and, yep, might need to do another show with some more young people. I got more to find, but I like this show.
Okay.
I'm gonna meet her daughter.
Oh, okay. All right. Look, I told you, keep them coming because we're trying to create positive dialogue about beautiful black and brown young people who are doing some incredible things. And that's what we want to do on this show. Thank you guys so very much for all of your love and support. We ask that you like us, start a watch party, share the page. The more viewers I get, the more we can attract sponsors. We're here to do this show to uplift, inspire, and entertain you each and every night. So, our next guest this evening is the president and executive director of Midwest College Project. She is Jacqueline Criddle, and she is here to talk to us about the importance of making sure that we mentor our young people. But she's been doing it all year long. COVID-19 happens, and she's now had to take everything online. And I've had the honor and pleasure of working with her to mentor some of these amazing young people. So we're talking to her tonight about the impact of COVID-19 and keeping our young people motivated. Is she there? She is. How are you?
How are you? How's it going, everybody? Hi, Javondalyn. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Jacqueline.
It is.
Wonderful.
It's so good to see you. I know you're a very busy woman. Look, you and I are used to doing this video stuff. I think the three of us, this is our new way of life. And recently, you had me as a judge for a wonderful oratorial presentation of your young people who are
Yeah.
in the program. So tell everybody what your program is all about, and then let's talk about the impact COVID has made on mentoring our young people and how you had to shift gears.
Oh, wonderful. So thank you guys for having me on the show. So just a little bit about our Midwest College Project. So Midwest College Project, we've been around roughly since October of 2010. So we've been doing this a really long time. And we were set in place to really provide college and career planning aspects for students between the ages of 15 and, believe it or not, we follow them until they're 25 years of age. So that's a unique concept that we start with them in high school. We follow them through all 4 years of high school, and then we follow them up to 2 years post grad. So yeah, it's a unique novelty in our programming. We are set up to cultivate homegrown talent. So what I mean by that, i.e. the name Midwest College Project. So what I found is that when I first started out, and well before that, a lot of the young people, what happens is that they go off to the West Coast and the East Coast, which we love. But then what happens is that we lose that talent pool right here in our own neck of the woods. There's so many really great schools right here in the Midwest that are within an arm's reach should they have emergencies or parents need to get to them or just to get a superior quality education. And so as I was designing med school curriculum, in the past at some of those schools over the years, I started to bring my own daughters and they started getting this hands-on exposure to where they have actually been to 57 different schools prior to making a college decision. And I said, I got to do this for more kids. And so we started back then and we were just out here, providing opportunities for young people to do college tours and kind of do some of the preliminary things that are exciting as it relates to, getting the college essay together, the personal statement, navigating scholarships. This year, we've always partnered with somebody, but this year we've got an in-house partnership alliance with a team from MIT and Harvard to do test prep for SAT and ACT. And then for our alumni, they can even get GMAT, GRE, training and coaching as well. So it's just been a labor of love, and I am just so elated to be Mama Criddle to support these young people.
Well, now, Mama Criddle, you so used to doing this hands-on. I've seen you work with these young people. I've worked with your amazing daughter. I know the magic and power that you have. But Mama Criddle, we've had to judge these young people on something called Zoom. We've had to judge these young people via text message and tweets and stuff. And so, what has COVID-19 done for the whole process of just preparedness and readiness?
So we have a unique edge, and it wasn't until the head of admissions at Mizzou, as well as Michigan State and University of Kentucky and Xavier and all these different schools started saying, you are a pioneer. For roughly 10 years, I've been doing WebEx. So we have a thing called the Virtual Village, and it's whereby our students engage with college and universities, have been doing it for the last 10 years. They get a hands-on exposure to college with the heads of diversity and recruitment, as well as admissions that are exclusive to our brown babies. Because I find that our kids ask different questions If they go to a PWI and the room is filled with sometimes they don't ask what they really want to ask. Let's put it like that. What they really need to know. And so it's a great opportunity for us to be able to get them engaged and immersed in that college atmosphere through these virtual encounters before we do a physical hands-on tour. And so I've been doing it for 10 years. A lot of my schools have called me right away and said, hey, what's the best platform? Where do I go? It's a crazy. I'm like, colleges and universities that are far bigger than I are asking for guidance, support, to try to navigate this new normal. And so for me and the students in MCP and the alumni, we're like old pros. We've been doing this a long time.
Isn't that amazing? And see, I'm so glad you said our black and brown children, because you're right. Oftentimes we're the least and last when it comes to advanced technology and things like that. And I think it's so great. Javonda Lynn, I know you want to chime in here.
Yes, I do have a question. So
Yes,
how do you recruit the students? And is it a free program? Do you have certain areas of the city that you recruit from? Or give me that understanding. Help me to understand that.
So we have students from across the state. Over the past couple of years, I've had my good friend Tracy Barres. She drove all the way down from Aurora to bring her kids to MCP. We're located in Hyde Park, right off of 53rd Street, but we have students that have come from represented from 19 high schools throughout the greater Illinois area, both public, private. So the Lutheran schools, Archdiocese, and CPS are vastly represented. And students join our program simply out of a need and a willingness to thrive. So a lot of times parents say, oh my God, MCP's got like the best and brightest. We do have a lot of the best and brightest, but the best and brightest could be indigent. They could be parents that, and families that have next to nothing. We find a way for those students to be able to do the programming for free. They have to meet certain criteria, but by and large, students join our program by paying a lifetime membership fee. So they pay one-time fee up front. And then when they pay that, from now until the time that they're 25 years of age, they don't pay anything. It's a gift. We do that primarily. Our membership fee is really one of our many fundraising vessels. And so we use those funds to keep, the program alive and, whatever resources and programming that we offer along with other fundraising. But we are a non-for-profit. So that's essentially how it's done. I think the only other out-of-pocket expense that they typically pay is when they do these specialty college tours that we do, because we do partner with 4 HBCUs, being Howard, Hampton, Xavier, New Orleans, and Florida A&M. And so we cover 16 predominantly white institutions throughout the Midwest, and then those 4 particular HBCUs, we have partnership alliances with those schools for the last 10 years.
And I went to Hampton, so I'm excited to hear that. And as an alum, if you need me in any area, let me know.
See how
yes, absolutely.
Look at, as they said, look at God. Look at how this all works. So I have a question. With this pandemic happening and this pandemic mirroring what happened in 2008, 2009 with the crash of the economy, as you continue to move forward and mentor these young people, will there be a shift in career choices and a shift in what people will need to do? Because keep in line, frontline workers right now are being hailed as heroes. So we're looking at, people in the medical field, first responders, things like that. Do you think career choices will change as a result of COVID-19?
Absolutely. So I speak on this topic from 2 vantage points. My day job, I am an executive career coach at one of the world's largest and most widely known. We actually invented outplacement services. And one of the things that I do know just in general is that careers for any and everyone, the nature of the landscape of the career path and how it's delivered and the services has changed forever. Will never be the same. So what I have been encouraging our students to do is, they have these dreams and these hopes of things they've always wanted. I don't want to crush those dreams, what I'm telling them is to look at it differently. So if you want to go into medicine, make sure that you take enough courses and content and learn about telemedicine. If you want to be an entrepreneur, thinking about how your business model could have virtual concepts to it, and how you can meet and serve, without having hands-on contact. So it's just making them rethink routine. What we've done, we're entering mentor engagement season and what's happening is that we're encouraging the students to think of all the ways for their 1 to 2 or 3 career paths that they get to select and get a mentor in, to think about how can that particular career path look different. So
Mhm.
what could you do, and be creative and talk to their mentors about that, like how can they do their job, and find out what those mentors are doing in their workspace to manage and navigate the new normal in terms of being virtual.
I love it. I do. I do. Javonda Lynn, do you have any comment on that?
No, I think that's a great set of career advice. When, if you, like you said, tell them to go into telemedicine. Everything has changed, and everything is going to be focused on. If we didn't think it was focused on technology, it is now. Everybody needs to pivot. So that's good. You like you said, you've been well ahead of the game for a while.
Yeah.
Mama Criddle, I do know that you have a college senior in your household, and you guys
Yes.
have been celebrating. But now here's the deal: your college senior got all the way up to her senior year in college, and the pomps and circumstance that she would be used to is not there. Now, we've talked to two high school parents about the trials and tribulations of this. How has this episode been in your house? And what advice have you given your college graduating senior?
So I didn't know if you knew this, Art. So DJ Little Criddle, Art's apprentice, she is also a senior. So I have two college seniors.
Oh, you're kidding
Kay-
me.
Yes, Kayla responded to the call, the charge, and she graduates December 20th. So I have two in 2020. So Kai graduated May 8th this past week, and it was devastating for her initially. It's been devastating for both of them. Kayla is worried about the connecting the dots in terms of how is this last semester going to look? Will I be online, or will I be able to go back to the University of Kentucky where they both went? Um, Kai, in particular, her situation was a little more unique. Total devastation. Lots of tears the first week home for both of them. They made the choice, even though they have an apartment down in Kentucky, to come home and be with family, and kind of do something different than some of their friends. A lot of the friends have opted to stay down on campus because up until this week, Kentucky had far fewer cases than we do. It was a little bit safer landscape, so they thought. So they came home, but devastated. Friendships abruptly cut short, vacations, things for graduation cut, no pomp and circumstance, so to speak. No marching, and Kai really was troubled by that. I mean, it was a really hard thing for her to embrace, and it was really devastating initially. But I think as parents, it forces us to put on our creative hats, think of creative ways that we can navigate this space. And so I went online and thought of all the creative things that I could do. So I came up with this virtual group greeting card. So, or like 100 people signed this card from all over the place, friends, family, and everybody, that they delivered to her on graduation morning. We had the friends and family Zoom session, and I made it go live, and it's still out there on Facebook platforms. And we ordered food from her favorite restaurant downtown, and did all the things that I guess we would have normally done. I think even the family pointed out on the Zoom session that more people were able to attend than would have been if they had come down to Kentucky, because all of them couldn't make it. So that was unique, but I'm still struggling because I'm dealing with. I want to go outside. I'm tired of being inside. I'm young. I'm not as at risk as you, Mom. You're at risk, not me. All of that is going on over here. And then, like I said, I've still got to deal with the fact that Kayla's graduating in December. And, does she finish up here at home or online, or does she take the risk and roll the dice and go back to Kentucky, and then I have to stay worried about social distancing and if she's going to get sick, or it's just a scary space. It's a really scary space.
I can only imagine. We're going to actually have a conversation on this show just about just even personal relationships and dating, because any parent would want their child to meet somebody nice and noble, and for single parents even want to meet somebody eventually. And so that's a whole show we're dedicating to just how do we wrap our minds around, as you said, worried about social distancing, worried about who you've been hanging out with and all of that. But I'm so proud of both of the girls. I just love and adore Kayla, so I'm not surprised. But I'm surprised you didn't tell me she graduated a year ago, because she was advanced anyway. She's always been advanced. Javonda, anything else you want to add to this? This has really opened my eyes tonight about just the struggles parents go through. Not being a parent myself, I didn't think of it like this, and this really has opened my eyes tonight.
Yeah, I love the virtual card that you did for your child. And the thing is that parents have to be creative. When our kids are not thinking, even though they usually are the ones leading us, we have to step in and put our thinking caps on, because they're looking to us, even though they'll say, "Oh, you don't know, you're too old, you don't understand." But they really want us to kind of come up with something, because right now they're shut down. They can't figure this out. They really
Mm,
can. So I
Yeah.
love that virtual greeting card, and I'm gonna mention that to my cousin Kelly for my godchildren.
I
Yeah,
think
group greetings it's called. I think groupgreetings.com. We also did Kayla turned 21 um
that's
during
right.
April 2nd. Yeah, during this, and so we had the caravan where the friends and folks came on by and honking horns and blowing from outside to wish her well. So we had that going on. We've pretty much kind of touched on a little bit of everything in dealing with COVID, but I think for my kids in my program, the biggest hurdle has been mental health is an issue that parents don't think about. These kids are so depressed being inside. And I mean, they think, you've got all the bells and whistles and all the luxurious things here in the home and your video games and all these things, but it's not enough. Because they need to touch and feel. My biggest thing is just encouraging them to get outside and get fresh air. Some
Yes,
of them really aren't even going outside regularly.
that's true.
Maybe they don't live in the best of areas or what have you, but we need to get some air, and they need to find a way, if you're just walking with mom or dad, to walk around the block every day. Develop a routine has been what I have reinforced with my parents and everyone. Make them create a routine. And the other thing is not allowing them to sit and veg out on Hulu, Netflix, and social media all day long and wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because this too shall pass, and then you won't be any good for an internship, summer school, or regular school or anything.
Hmm.
That's a that's a good point. I was just going to say this, Art, that when we all get back to some semblance of normalcy, all of our sleep patterns are going to be off. I try to go to bed at
uh,
the same time and get up at the same time, so that hasn't been an issue for me. But a lot of people are up late at night watching TV because they're posting about it. They're telling us.
yeah, you keep your I've done it. I'm guilty, right? Guilty. You'll probably see me on here commenting on your post or something at 2 a.m., especially if I get into a good Netflix
See,
series or something. I binge watch it, and then the next day I'm delirious at
yep,
work.
Then I know I have officially become an old man because I was teased just yesterday. I have a setting on my phone that reminds me to go to bed every night at a certain time so that I can get my 8 hours of sleep. And I had a conversation with somebody like, "How long have you been doing that?" And I said, "Well, my doctors had recommended about 2 years ago that I kind of start a regular routine or whatever." So look, y'all, I'm knocked out by a certain time. And if I don't talk to you by then, it's over, because I have to try to keep a regular schedule. So I can only imagine how, topsy-turvy you all's households are now,
Oh,
with everybody being home, especially for these parents who thought they were going to be empty nesters. You know
oh,
what I'm saying? That's a
yes.
that's a whole nother thing too. The
That's a
adult,
whole different topic.
yeah, that's a
Another
whole
show.
different. Yes, it is. So, what can we do to help you, and how can more of our young people become a part of the wonderful programming that you offer, Mama Criddle?
So beginning in June 1st, the first week of June, we start our next cohort. We're expanding to the state of Michigan as well. So we are taking 30 students here in Chicago land area to be part of the Midwest College Project. So we're going to have a parent informational where you can learn about us before you sign up in 2 weeks. You can just go to Midwest College Project, as you see there on the screen.com. And down at the bottom of the homepage, it says join our family. If you sign up there with your name and contact information, we will reach out, send you communication to be able to engage in the upcoming parent informational session. But we encourage students to join as well because it's always a better experience when the students are on board with this versus mom or dad just signing you up for something.
Oh, I love it. And in closing, I allowed the other parents to give a bit of advice. What advice would you want to give as just a Black woman, just personal from your heart about this entire situation we're going through right now, and just words of inspiration to tell people to keep holding on?
So I teach off of a principle that is in my book, Raising the Winner, the Grow and Go Theory. But my biggest philosophy is to allow them to grow and go. That doesn't end just because we're in the home. Allow them to make decisions, be independent, think independently, make some mistakes, and to figure some things out. You guide, you coach, but you allow them to grow and go.
Yay! Grow and go. I like that. I do. I thought that was a gas station, but that's okay. Right. Grow and go. Yes. Mama Criddle,
Yes,
outstanding job. Give both of the girls my love. Tell Kayla I said,
will do.
what up? What up? I'm gonna have to be handing
She's
out.
watching.
Oh, is she? I'm gonna have to be handing out a lot of $20 bills, Javonda Lynn. As the old people say, you have to take me to the bank so I can get these kids a 20. This is amazing. I'm so proud of them. I am because we've never seen a time like this ever in our lifetime. And I just applaud them. And I'm glad everybody's acknowledging the depression that we're all going through right now. Really, I am. Mama Criddle, give that website one more time. I have it on the ticker tape, but give people that info one more time.
So it's midwestcollegeproject.com, or you can go to raisingawinner.com, whichever one is easiest for you to remember. They'll both take you to the same space, midwestcollegeproject.com or raisingawinner.com. And Art, before we close, I just want to say I absolutely loved the new format, the new
Thank
platform. It's sensational because if I ever missed your show when you were on the radio broadcast normally, I would be so frustrated. Now it's like I can go back to you if I'm busy. I mean, this is just where it's at. This is the new you. I
Thank
love it.
you. Thank
The
you. I
new
do too.
you. I love
Lou, I do too. Thanks to Javonda Lynn. She was the one that coached me to do this. I'm loving it
I love
now.
it.
Right. Look, all I got to do is put on a clean top and make sure my
There you
hair's
go.
right. And that's it. Look, by that ring light, and it's amazing. But thank
It's
you, Mama.
amazing.
Yes, thank you, Mama Critter. I love you so much. I love your whole
You
family.
guys,
And we
meet
appreciate
you.
you. Thank you again and have a beautiful night. Okay?
you too. All
All
right. Thanks,
right.
guys. Have a good
All
Nice
one.
to
right,
meet you.
give it up,
Take care.
Mama Criddle, Midwest College Project, making sure our young people get everything they need and deserve through high school to allow them to live just wonderful lives. And these people do mentor them from high school until they get that college graduation degree. And it's just beautiful.
That's
Well, Javonda Lynn has been another just off the chain show. We're
I
going to
agree.
miss you tomorrow night. In closing, what do you want to say? And then do your famous plug.
I am the owner of JMD Defense LLC. We specialize in safety education. We have concealed carry classes. We have introduction of firearms online. And if you are interested in any of our classes, please go to my website. You see the ticker tape down there, jmddefense.com, and you can sign up for a class. We have a ladies' gun club and a men's gun club. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay. Great job as always. Boy, we've covered a lot tonight. Yes, I do want to meet more of our phenomenal 2020 graduates, Javonda Lynn. So add that to your list of amazing things that you do. And we'll just make it all happen. You got any gardening plans? Is the weather going to be nice enough
It is
tomorrow to
gonna be
garden?
nice tomorrow. I'm gonna finish up with this last bit of mulch that needs to be laid out, and then I'm ready because I just looked at the schedule for next week. I think you kept saying it was gonna be nice next week.
I told
Oh
you. I
yeah, I think it's
told
gonna be
you.
the first backyard conversation one of those days, maybe all 3 days.
Yeah, yeah. I've been talking to people, and it's so funny how people all say now, well, look, Art, I know you've been well behaved and you've been quarantining. You included as one of my 10 that can come over. I said, well, yay. That look, so I got to pull out my lawn chairs and my wagon and get ready to enjoy some of this warm
So
weather.
it is just 10 we can have for right now.
Yeah,
I don't even
supposedly.
know if they
Yeah.
said we could have 10.
Yeah, it's 10. It's 10. You can do
Oh,
at
okay.
least 10 people. You can do at
Oh,
least
yeah, well, it's
10.
gonna be nice the next 3. Oh, yeah, next week, absolutely. Imma be sitting
Okay.
on the deck with the wine.
All right. Well, we want to remind you guys to please continue to wear your mask whenever you're out in public. Not only does it save your life, but it saves the life of people around you. We also want to remind you guys to continuously wash your hands clean and sanitize. Do all the necessary things that we need to do, especially here in the city of Chicago. A lot of the cities surrounding Chicago, the collar counties, as they would say, they're all very upset and mad because they don't have as many cases as we do and they don't want to be judged by Chicago. Well, Chicago, we've got to come together and do what we need to do to get our numbers down so that we can be off of house arrest. I mean, shutter in place. That's what I'm calling it, house arrest.
Punishment.
Punishment, right. Your mama got you on punishment.
That's right.
All right, so we've come to the end of yet another wonderful show. It's been beautiful tonight. Congratulations to all of the class of 2020. Don't forget, tomorrow night, one of my dear friends, fans, and followers will be here with us. We're going to have a hoot of a time tomorrow night. Please, please, please support this show. Don't forget, we're on Facebook at The Real Chat Daddy Show. That's one of the Facebook pages. The other Facebook page is Art Chat Daddy Sims. And last but not least is Art Sims. If you cannot see it on Facebook, you can always go to YouTube to The Real Chat Daddy Show, The Real Chat Daddy Show on YouTube. Please take a visit to my website. My website, you'll love it. It is therealchatdaddy.com. TheRealChatDaddy.com is where you can go for all that information. We got one more guest that wants to say what's up. Hello, Pamela Jones Willis. Hey, glad to have you on here with us tonight. If you've enjoyed tonight's show and you want to tip Chat Daddy, please feel free to do so. You can tip me on Cash App at Chat Daddy. That's ChatDaddy. Until tomorrow night, I love you guys. God bless you. Stay safe. Do all the right things. Wash your hands. And as the mayor would say, keep your in the house. All right.
That's
Love you
right.
guys. Good night. God bless.
Good night.
Good night.